Hello and welcome to the North Bank podcast. I'm your host, Colin. I'm joined by a very smiling duo, Stef and Chris. Hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
Hello.
Why are you smiling so much?
It was a sunny day. It was a lovely walk down Hornsey Road.
It was, and
back.
Straight from the off, Chris. Congratulations on getting into the ground half hour before kick-off. You beat Steph this time, which is unheard of.
Things were slightly out of my control on that one, I will say.
Well, it was the fabled Klopp nightmare kick-off lunchtime after an international break. And I must admit, Block 6 concourse was ever so quiet.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, I was thinking, oh dear. But
well, everyone's just got in after their breakfast. What do you expect?
but then it was, one of the easiest 3-0 comfortable home wins I can remember from the first minute to the final minute. It was. Were you stressed at any point, Chris?
Only to the extent that before we scored, basically, I was thinking, is it going to be one of those, where we're plugging away? There was clearly a kind of post, like the hangover of the internationals going on. There were a few misplaced passes, and I just thought, we just need to get into our stride. I thought the passing was a little bit slow, but look, I'm nitpicking.
In a word or a phrase, could you summarise kind of how you felt walking away from the ground?
I suppose job done would be the ultimate kind of. I don't think it was a scintillating performance, but
okay, that's interesting. Steph,
well,
Chris said it wasn't scintillating.
I don't know. I can't think of a word to describe my feeling, but my feeling about the game, the way I would describe it, the word is dominant. So the disappointing games and results that we've had in the last few years, I've often felt that what we say about the opposition is that they may have wanted it more, or they looked more up for it, and they just seemed to work a bit harder. Well, that was us today. I felt, the first half, in terms of an attacking sense and how we built up the play, it took a while for us to find our range and find our aim. But from start to finish, the work off the ball, the marking, the picking up players, the tackling, the intent and the intensity was just incredible. It's the first time I've really looked, because every now and again I've looked at other teams, when City were flying with Guardiola and they just looked almost unstoppable. I was looking at our team today going, opposition aren't going to want to face us. We look really good. And the most pleasing things, and lots of WhatsApp messages are going around in different groups and different people just talking the same thing, the depth.
Wow.
The depth. The fact that, and we've said this loads, haven't we? Think about the players that are out and, maybe even to the short to long term as well. And yet we were fine with the starting 11. And even then we were looking at the bench and thinking, blimey, there's some talent in this team, and there should be the way to see off games.
It's funny because it was kind of brought home for me. It illustrated perfectly in this double substitution we made when Madueke and Eze went off, and our two starters from last season came on to replace them, Martinelli and Trossard. And the sense of the gulfing threat that the two departing players had compared to the two oncoming players is just cavernous.
But when you think of last season, I think it was even more stark, because essentially we had Raheem Sterling, who was a complete non-entity, or we had academy players who were incredibly young. So that drop-off is nowhere near what it was before. And look, Trossard came on, got an assist. Martinelli was there. Sorry. 4 minutes in, it's my turn this time.
Listen, if you've got nothing nice to say,
just said he was there.
Martinelli was there. I mean, that's the most damning indictment.
I like the fact we put him on the right. I like the fact we tried something different, and he
He had his
didn't get a
football
huge
boots
amount
on.
of time, so you can't criticise. He's been to Brazil and back, and yeah.
Well, look, okay. The stats, the kind of post-game stats, we had 16 shots to their 5. 5 of our shots were on target to one of theirs. Oh, by the way, the shot that was on target, do you know what it was? I've watched a couple of the highlights again.
I've only read a tweet saying about this. I haven't seen it.
All right. You have to watch this again. Chris, I don't know who put the ball across for Forest, but it hit Chris Wood's chest.
Yes.
And it came back off the bar.
Yep.
It was an amazing fingertip save from Raya that pushed it onto the bar. It was a goal otherwise. It was like, oh, wow, that is an amazing save. And it was within a minute or 2 minutes of us going 2-0 up. So it was a really, really critical time. If we'd been pegged back to 2-1, the mood would have shifted in the ground. Perhaps momentum would have shifted almost straight away. So that was their one shot on target. Our XG was 1.62, theirs was 0.22. Our XG from open play was 0.88, so it's getting better in terms of as a percentage of the overall XG, which is good. Their open play XG was 0.22 as well, so they had 0 threat from set pieces, even though it struck me that they put in a couple of dangerous corners. But we had 8 corners to their 4. We had 35 touches inside their box. They had 12 inside ours. The interesting thing I've written down about the 16 shots we had in the game, 4 of them were from outside the box. Now, I don't know if that's a shift or if that's always been... That's 25% of our shots, and as we get quite a lot of shots, 25% from outside the area. Now, I know 2 of them, Zubimendi's rocket that went in and then his follow-up effort which dipped over the bar. I can't remember the other 2.
Didn't Waneri have one later on in the game?
God.
Because the ball kind of came towards us in the north.
Yeah. I mean, he had one that kind of almost left the stadium completely. And then he had one that did, it was a closer effort. One of those ones where he tried to bend it with his left foot inside the far post, but it didn't quite catch it right. So, that possibly was they possibly were the other 2. Yeah.
Do you think that there's a sort of instructive as you guys are capable of doing this? Have a go, rather than trying to work it through all the time.
Yeah. Okay. I said to Steph when Zubimendi scored that goal, I turned around to him pretty much straight away and I said, "Look," or maybe it was half time. Szoboszlai scored a worldie, bit of magic from outside. Gravenberch up at Newcastle, exactly the same thing. Broke the deadlock away at Newcastle, 1-0 up. Beautiful finish, shot from outside the area, right inside the post. Got a little deflection, but if you don't buy the ticket and so on. And at Liverpool, you create your bit of magic. Man, you've got to take it on. And for sure, like a Declan Rice with his free kicks against Real Madrid last season. Like the 2 of the top highlights for an Arsenal fan in the entire season. It's a player backing his ability. And Zubimendi, I don't know whether this is true, but that's his first goal from outside the box, and it might actually be his first headed goal as well.
Amazing.
So that
he
would
was slapping his bonds once he'd scored the second one.
straight away. But I mean, it's difficult because, as we're recording this, it's 7:15 on Saturday evening. There's 86 minutes gone in this West Ham Spurs game. Spurs are 3-0 up, and I was watching a bit of that. West Ham down to 10. Well, West Ham have capitulated. Spurs scored straight from a corner, then they had a player sent off, and then they they scored a second pretty soon after that, and then Van der Ven put in a third. But Forest did lose at home to West Ham just before the international break, so I don't know. I mean, you look at the team sheet, Forest team sheet, and that's a pretty strong team. You've got players like Elliot Anderson and Morgan Gibbs-White, and then you've got the back 4. I know Ola Aina wasn't. He was the only one who was missing, and Marilla then did go off. So it's a strong lineup. It's a strong team there. So I just don't know what's going on in the background. I must admit, I didn't think that would be quite so comfortable. But, Chris, I did think it was scintillating.
Okay.
Down to 1 player.
Well, possibly 2.
Well, 1.
Okay, Madueke, yeah, but Eze was was pretty good.
I see. Eze had a very quiet first half from our kind of vantage point. Brilliant set up for Gyökeres's goal, but Madueke for me was just unplayable. Like he was just brilliant, and it's so refreshing. I asked Steph this question. Maybe, name the last player who put in a performance like that, and you would then expect it every week. At the Emirates era, who was the last player that was kind of maybe Saka, but he's not quite as electric as Madueke. Like his first instinct is right. I'm going to hit the ball past you and run because you can't live with my pace. And he has an end product almost every time. And that's my one gripe. My one disappointment is that there was no one on the end of one of his crosses to give him at least the assist.
Or corners.
Because he warranted at least that.
Yeah.
He took over corner duty from Odegaard after he went off.
Yeah.
And actually, his delivery was excellent.
Yeah, there was no drop-off there either.
That's brilliant.
So it is, I must admit, I wasn't vocal or public about this, but when we signed Madueke for 50-odd million, two things. One, I was like, why are we signing him? And two, why on earth are we paying that much money for him? At the time, of course, the context was we might not get Eze or Robinho or whoever it was that was, But I must admit, since I didn't pay much heed to him, he's just one of the 85 players Chelsea sign every summer. The previous year, and I didn't really pay much heed to him. But I can see now what he is and what he does. And I read somewhere someone suggesting during the week, this is before this game, but after the England game, that there's a possibility that Saka may find himself in a different position on the team. Like he still plays, but could Saka play more central or Saka play more on the left-hand side? Or the two of them swap over, but he's almost the player that we didn't know we needed, Madueke, in that sense. Steph, what did you think of his performance, Madueke?
Well, I've been fairly vocal, not only to you in the ground on the stands, but also on the bus back home, that for me he was man of the match, because he was what drove us forward, and a lot of attacks were funneled down that right-hand side, and he just was electric. The player we came up with when we chatted about it, that question about when have you last seen a player who played like that, was Sanchez. Alexis Sanchez
was
had that kind of ball at his feet, going to take you on.
Get off your seat.
And you're going to stand up and
you expect
take
something
notice.
to happen.
Yeah, exactly. Look, I understand, and Pete, who's my mate who came on the bus with me, or I'm sure will listen to this, was obviously right in that Zubimendi got man of the match for a whole host of reasons. Not just the goal, but obviously his breaking up play and just, dominating the midfield, certainly as the game went on. But yeah, Madueke for me really raised my eyebrows. When we had that interest in him, in my head, first thing I thought, look, as a Saka backup, which we've said we've wanted for a long time, totally, yeah, I was on board with that. But like you, I had big reservations. I did think that the price was a lot, especially because it was so early. And as you said, would it stop us getting other players? And just, whether he would be, happy to be sort of second fiddle. But now just looks like a really astute signing. Love it.
But not only does he get us off our seats, he plants a real seed of doubt in the opposition because they're going to have to step back or run towards their own goal a lot more, because he had, I don't know who is marking him.
Was it me, or did the Forest fullback switch?
Because
Nico Williams is the more experienced one, but the other guy was struggling, so they stuck him over.
No, it happened. I think, and I'm not 100%. I think it happened when Murillo went off injured. They did that. They did a complete switch, and it did. Well, it didn't make any difference to Madueke. He still was like in the second half as well. He was like I was gutted for both players. Him for not getting the assist, and Gyökeres for not getting his second goal when Gyökeres smashed the post. Did I disappear there?
Yeah. No, but we got the gist.
Right. Gyökeres, when he let, you would have been behind that, or maybe not quite, but slightly behind that shot that leathered against the post. And that was,
You couldn't get around it quite enough, in that sense of you just needed to get around it ever so slightly to pull it the other side of the post. But
what did he not have any? There was no suggestion for a second that he was going to square it, though, was there?
No. You love that, don't you?
Yeah.
In your number 9,
Ian Wright wouldn't square that.
No. The thing about Madueke as well is where the hysteria of is he worth it, and just that kind of vitriol that was pouring out once we'd signed him, which was ridiculous.
Bloody petitions.
Yeah, just crazy. And then we sort of swung violently the other way into this thing of, he's fantastic. Having seen him play England, and he's had a few good games for us. And the truth may lie somewhere in between, in that...
No, he's the best player in the world.
The criticisms I've heard from Chelsea fans who are less sort of frothy-mouthed, kind of opinionated, have said that he can dazzle like that, but then will go quiet for a few games. So all I hope is that, as you referenced, Holly, that Saka, by comparison, is just so consistent and so efficient, and I hope we get that from Madueke, as a consistency and an efficiency. Unfortunately today, like you said, he deserved an assist at least. But
he's only 23, so that consistency. Yeah. Not everybody's like Saka, who's consistent from age 18. It's
and you would argue as well that he's in a better environment for him to grow with us than Chelsea.
Yes, yes.
Oh, sorry, I was just going to do another devil's advocate thing then, because a lot of the criticism that's then levelled at Martinelli is that when he was a bit younger, that's maybe what he would have done. Ball at feet, going to take my man on. And yeah, he fell into that kind of rhythm of putting my head down and I'll just cross blindly and I can't pick out my man, fine. But it seems exciting now Madueke's doing it, but, there wasn't a goal, there wasn't an assist. But it was different. It did feel different. It had so much more purpose and directness about the whole thing. It was exciting.
His style of play adds to the energy of the team and in the ground as well.
Pulls everyone up.
Those kind of intangibles that you can't... What do you call them? The soft... Chris, what do you
soft factors.
Yeah,
soft factors. That just the whole energy changes. And it's not just him. We've got other players now who, you've got Eze on the other side. You've got Saka when he comes back in. There's a lot more threat. And I'm not talking... I think Gyökeres will become that as well. I just think he's feeling his way back into the team. But feeling his way in, and he's got 3 goals in 4 games. So, and as you pointed out, Steph, at the game, both his first goal against Leeds was the second goal, almost the game killer. Yeah. And today as well, the second goal, the kind of, and within a minute of, it was great. All the people around me, like to the side and in front, none of them had come back from half time yet. So I had I just had a perfect view of all of that. It was like fantastic. We did suffer a little injury, Ødegaard again, and it looked like the same thing that happened to him before. And as before, Waneri came on. So I wrote down his stats to compare to remember the last time he had 100%, and we got a bit of flack on TikTok for saying, well, 100% for an attacking midfielder, 100% accuracy, passing accuracy is not necessarily a great thing. It suggests he's played safe a lot. So his stats from SofaScore. Okay, 72 minutes he's on the pitch, 49 touches, 88% accuracy. So obviously he was brilliant. 1 key pass and 2 shots. I actually thought he had a very, very good game. Again, I think he did everything that he did in the last, and he maybe was a little bit more adventurous with his passing, and that's not always going to come off. And shooting as well, yeah. So, and that's his second game in that position. It's like he is so young and inexperienced in that role. At this level, certainly, I don't know whether
he plays with great maturity.
Yeah, and you look at the other players; they'll feed him the ball wherever he is. There's no they trust him, and you see that there's no sense that I won't pass it to him because he might not do X, Y, and Z. I'll take an easier pass. So that's good to see. Steph, what did you make of his all-round performance?
I thought it was okay. His style and the way he carries himself is very different for Odegaard. Odegaard, you notice his presence more. Whereas
is that the harrying? Is that the pressing more?
The harrying, the pressing. Obviously, he's leader. There's a lot of gesticulation with the arms and things like that as well. So, while I did think Nwaneri had a good game, it wasn't a game that I particularly noticed. Madueke may caught my eye more in the way he approached it, but the fact that Nwaneri, I didn't notice him for doing that wrong. I think he could be a good kind of player that if he's knitting things together, almost unseen, then that will do him the world of good, possibly as well. Just on his shooting, he's not afraid to pull the trigger, which is quite good to see. But I also wonder if over time we might see this pattern. Gyökeres, you could probably add up the total distance of his shots and his goals, and it probably wouldn't be further than the penalty area, because he's a proper number 9. He wants to get on the end of things and the end of moves and score with the best percentage chance to get in that goal. But that means that he's doing that at a time when we've pushed their defence back, leaving space behind. Whereas the profile of the players, you think Nwaneri and Eze definitely, they do like to shoot from distance. They back their technique to shoot and get it on target. And I wonder if Zubimendi might do that a little bit more, possibly now as well. But they are, and Marino is a great finisher. I don't know particularly from distance, but maybe Gyökeres will help stretch that play, open up space for others to exploit.
Move those players closer to the penalty box.
Because
he's further forward, and so the defence. That's what Madueke did. I mean, the fact is, I hadn't thought about that, but I did note that 25% of our shots on goal today were from outside the area. It's because Madueke had them chasing back.
Yeah, like you say, not the ball past go.
So they're much closer. So then you're attacking your next attacking line behind you. So you've got Gyökeres and Madueke as your two kind of as your front line of attack, and then just behind those two you've got Eze and Nwaneri, and then behind them you've got Zubimendi. I know that was from both his were from like corners, weren't they? Yeah, both his. So slightly different, but you've got So we should, in that sense, see more shooting from outside the area. And listen, that I watched the Zubimendi goal again as live when I got home. It's such a good hit, such a good shot, and it was
we were saying just before the recording that on the third replay in the stadium, anyway, you saw how much of a deflection it took, and it sort of soured it a little bit for me.
It didn't take a deflection.
It did.
There is a bit.
Yeah. No, it came off the keeper's finger. It did. It's the spin on the ball. It's an optical illusion. I'm telling you. It didn't hit his head at all.
That. Okay,
didn't hit his head at all. Right, hold me to that one.
Okay,
the keeper may well have got his fingertips to it.
No, before that.
No, I know it looks like that, but it was an optical illusion. I'm telling you.
I hope I'm wrong.
It wasn't quite in the top corner.
I've not seen anything since I was in the ground. So.
No, I seen it. Yeah, I thought it took a deflection from where we were because we're right behind it down the other end, and so I was also waiting for someone to be flagged offside and interfering with the goalkeeper's line of sight or some nonsense like that. But it was okay. That didn't happen. Just the Eze goal. Sorry, the Gyökeres goal. That's exactly the goal we signed him for.
Yeah.
Not the one he got against Leeds. I don't remember the second one he got against Leeds. What was it? A penalty. That's why I don't remember it. Yeah. So, but that goal today.
Although we have seen him do that Leeds goal in his previous club, where he's kind of favourite. He's nudging it onto his right and then bang.
But that's not what we got him for.
Well, I'll take it. It's just
for sure. But we got
him.
We got him for the 6-yard bot.
And it was refreshing because at half time I was thinking if we get it to Eze quicker, then that's the 1-on-1 and then whip it in is the kind of.
Who got it to Eze quicker? I know the answer to this.
Was it Mosquera?
Nope.
Timber?
Nope.
Zubimendi?
Nope.
Oh, for God's sake. Madueke?
Nope.
Calafiori.
Waneri.
Calafiori.
Calafiori.
And he also got it forward quickly for the Gyökeres goal, his first goal against Leeds.
Yes.
So it is, and again, straight after half time. Or was it straight after half time? Yeah, I think it was the same, wasn't it?
Pretty much.
Yeah, pretty sure,
under instruction.
Under instruction, yeah.
Told you, Arteta, progressive.
People need to get used to as well, because there were a few people around us. I overheard people talking about Gyökeres not really being in the game or whatever.
No.
He doesn't have to be.
No.
He is a proper number 9. He can go a game, touch the ball 3 times, score 1 goal. Doesn't matter.
Haaland's not in the game.
He is I think there is more to his game.
Yeah.
I think today he was chasing back. There was a little presser afterwards. With,
he works.
With
yeah. No,
I don't know if you heard it, but he did say, his contribution. He's learning more with us. He's learning about when to press, when to go with the press, and his work rate. And I think he'd alluded to that before against Liverpool, perhaps, about the fact that he's learning about the press and it's a process.
He linked play up in the first half as well a couple of times down your side,
deep, wasn't he?
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, I don't think he needs to necessarily do that. He doesn't need to be that Havertz kind of hybrid midfielder because he's just deadly.
Exactly,
he finishes with a plum. So,
he's the Franny Jeffers of this team. Fox in the box for those of you watching or listening who have no idea who I'm talking about, but Francis Jeffers. He's not quite a Richie. Not quite a Richie Powling. What's his name?
About 30 years later. Yeah, Richie Powling. Yeah.
There you go. We got him in again.
Yep.
We'll have to get him on.
If he's not plastering, yeah.
Okay, so look, I've got these 5 questions, and they'll prompt discussion as well. Who was your man of the match, Steph? Your man of the match. I know who the man of the match was, but who was yours?
My man of the match was probably Madueke, just because it was exciting, it was exhilarating. He was purposeful the whole game, and like I say, just gave us that territory that we needed to just impose ourselves and create that dominant performance. Yeah,
you've got to be good if you're getting a man of the match award over Zubimendi, having done what he's done. Chris, who was your man of the match?
Same, Madueke.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder is that an in-ground thing? Because I'm absolutely the same. Honourable mentions go to Mosquera, who I thought was absolutely supreme at the back again, and zero qualms about him. I mean, 15 million quid.
Yeah,
we should be tried for that. That's got to be daylight robbery. That is.
United paid 80 for Euro. Or something.
I don't know. They paid 80 for Maguire.
Yeah.
I think they paid 50 for Euro.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, 80 for Maguire.
They paid 50 for Onana, and they've just loaned him to Trabzonspor. So
and he's actually getting a higher salary there than he was at. I don't understand. So honourable mentions for Mosquera and Timber, Zubimendi, and I thought Marino had a really, really good game. But all over the pitch, I thought he was excellent, breaking the play down, getting out of tight spots, and linking it all together. I thought he was excellent. But yeah, Madueke. Right, what's your positive takeaway, Steph, from the game?
The intensity that we played with, I really liked. Yes, all right, you might look at that first half and think it wasn't overly spectacular, but I think even without the ball, this team are hungry and they look like they're up for it.
Chris? I think for me, the relationships, and again, it was something that Mikel talked about in his post-match presser, is that they've gelled quite quickly, and particularly nice seeing Calafiori and Eze, which playing together for the first time, starting together for the first time, where they were kind of changing lanes. There was an understanding already that Calafiori wants to come inside, so when he did that, Eze would go wide and vice versa, and so there was a nice combination going on there. And similarly on the other side, with Timber pushing on and supporting. So for me, it was just those relationships. We've already got it in the middle. I just thought it was great to see it so sort of fluent already on the flanks,
and this is without Sean of 4 or 5 first team players. It's mental.
No, good sign.
I figured you'd. I mean, I agree with all of that. I just wrote down clean sheet as well. I thought that was good. I think that's important.
Fortress.
Yep. Not only are we difficult to beat, we've conceded 1 goal this season. I know we've played a game more than others now, but we're the top scorers. And I don't know about Spurs actually. Spurs have got 3 tonight, so they might. I know that they beat. Did they beat someone at home 3-0, and then they beat City away 2? Then they 3, 6, 8. I think.
Well, we're still top on goal diff, if that pleases you.
And also, what are we? 4 games in. Raya has 3 clean sheets. He got 11 last year for the Golden Glove. So, yeah.
On that performance today, Matt Sells will not be getting anywhere near him for the Golden Glove.
Although saying that, I mean, that one very good save, you tell me, aside, I thought Raya actually didn't do a lot.
Disappointing player. Could have done more.
Could have taken his gloves off and put his feet up.
No assist. Steph, which player impressed you? Not the man of the match, though, so not Madueke for you.
Yeah, I've already banged on about Madueke, so just to look elsewhere in the team. Look, Eze's first start, and he was quiet first half, but then there were a couple of moments, albeit even in the first half, there were a couple that end when he took someone on, and I thought, in my head, he'd gone too far, but I couldn't really see. It's the other end of the pitch. And managed to win a corner because he put it across. So, incredibly positive. Could go both ways and just looked, part of the furniture. Got an assist.
Yeah.
Very good.
And as he gets more confidence and comfort within the team as well. We know he's a ceiling raiser, and we don't. What we don't know is just how high that ceiling will be. Will it be double height or triple height?
Yeah.
It's Chris. Which player impressed you other than or outside of Madueke?
I've put Eze and /Zubi, but for me, Eze, you were saying about the soft factors and those kind of intangibles, and there's no metric for that feeling of someone coming on and playing the way he did. And that's why I think for me, Eze was just watching him where it would have been easy to go back. He just did a little trick, and it might not have come to anything, but it gets the crowd going, and it's like the romantic tale continues. It just felt so good. So that's why I'm a little... Well,
I figured you two would go for those players. So I said Timber. I thought Timber was excellent. I thought, we know he's just a superb defender. We know that. But for me, I was most impressed today by his attacking play. His link up again with Madueke was brilliant. They dovetailed together really well, really effectively, loads of times. It could have. I mean, again, I think at half time, Steph, we were commenting that it still wasn't quite working down the left, but wow, was it working down the right? And we were going down the right a lot.
Yeah, and I wonder if it wasn't working round the left because Calafiori seemed to have the freedom of North London.
The entire pitch.
And would just pop up. At one point you pointed out, hang on, he stepped into midfield. And then we looked and he was at right back. And
No. Before that, it was, I said he's gone into midfield. And then about 10 seconds later, he's running down the right wing.
Yes.
And then about 20 seconds after that, now he's playing at right back, and we looked across and we worked out that Eze was at left back because Calafiori had found himself in the right back slot, and because of the way the play was developing, he was there for a good minute or two. It was like Calafiori dreaming.
I wonder where that very good. I wonder where that fits in terms of everyone's perception of Arteta is about this guy who likes uber control, and he has lots of patterns and formations. He's very defensive, and then Calafiori seems to be this kind of maverick. Does he just say to him, just go and enjoy yourself, mate? Or is the rest of the team going, he's over, why is he over there? What have we got? And everyone's panicking, and Eze's like, I'll go left back. What's going on?
I'm pretty sure it's the former. I think Arteta plays him. He plays him. If he's fit, he plays him. That's how it started so far. We don't know about the new guy, Capio, how he'll factor into it. But I'm pretty sure Arteta's says to him, look, when you want to go, you go. And he says to the rest of the team, right, once he goes, this is what happens.
Yeah.
So it's not a surprise.
I would just say, as a slight counter, brilliant on the ball. Love his cheekbones. There's so much, there's so much going on there to love.
Tick. There's the old Chris
bingo.
Chris bingo.
The cheekbones and the hair, but off the ball, I think he got booked for a succession of fouls. It wasn't. It wasn't like a yellow for the foul he got the yellow for. Wasn't a yellow card. It was successive foul because he got caught a few times today. That's my only concern with him. Is that when we have a tricky right winger, he'll get turned. And
he played against Salah really well.
Yeah, he did.
More conservative.
So he's got it in him.
He read him. Yeah. But he's got both in him. He's got both sides to him.
And Arteta did take him off after the yellow card and put Myers Lewis-Skelly on.
Yep.
So
who was very good himself.
Yep. Well, again, we look to that
18.
bench and it's like, what the hell? We've got 5 players out and
we've got England's left back.
Yeah. I mean, Norgard couldn't even get onto the bench. Oh. It's mental. Like his pinch. We're like. I kind of maybe differ slightly from you two, but this journey does feel different. I talk about journey versus destination. This journey feels like it's actually going to go somewhere this time.
So here's something that I saw in one of the WhatsApp messages that came up earlier today. Someone said that this might not be the best team they've ever seen, but it might be the best squad we've ever had.
Yeah, I can't just
when
looking
you
at
think
the bench,
of who was out.
Yeah,
Saka, Havertz,
Saliba,
Jesus,
and Odegaard went
essentially
off.
Odegaard. Yeah, exactly. Wow.
I mean, it's mental. They're 5 first 11 players from last season.
Yeah.
and Man United mate messaged me after the game. He said, "You look very good today," and all I kept saying was, "Look at who was missing." That's what I was like, because it is almost pinch yourself territory. Not the. I mean, look, a 3-0 home win against Forest. That Forest team having qualified for Europe and they've strengthened in the summer. I think it's a decent team. And following a 5-0 home win against Leeds, these are important results, but we're swatting teams away there. Now, I know we went to Old Trafford and we were lucky to come away with a win, and we went to Anfield and we were unlucky to come away with a defeat. A draw would have been...
But you will have games like
yes,
that.
of course. Yeah. But there's something about this that's, I don't know, feeling different. It's because you said it, Steph, and you just kind of reinforced it there. The players are so good.
Yeah.
Really good.
On that, we had a message. This is someone who follows on Instagram and listens a lot, called Jason Britton. Hello, Jason. And he goes to the games as well, and he asked a couple of questions. We've had a couple of good exchanges. He asked the questions today, the man of the match today, is there an argument that they could have been almost anyone? Because they are playing as such a unit. That whole, the 5-second fury. If someone does lose the ball, within 5 seconds, there's 3 or 4 players swarming them down. And like you say, that means that the likes of Eze, he's not afraid to try a little trick. He's not afraid to take someone on. And if it doesn't come off, that's fine, because there's 10 guys, can't do my maths, there's 10 guys behind him who are going to be on it straight away. And that intensity, everyone's just feeding off it because there's real competition in the squad now. Madueke, Saka will be looking at that going, look, I love Madueke, but, that's my spot. Give me my spot back. So he's going to come back in raring to try and get that back. Yeah,
maybe Saliba's back in training because he saw how good Mascherano was at Anfield.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like...
He's like, I want my move to Real Madrid next season. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you sign, mate, or you're off. And the last one of my kind of 5 quick questions, and it seems a bit churlish almost. Which player... So you can use comedy here, gentlemen. Feel free. Which player would you have wanted more from, or perhaps, or which player disappointed, or which player would you have wanted more from? So, Steph.
Well, Odegaard, obviously, he went missing after about 10 minutes.
He's a lightweight, isn't he?
Raya, he barely did anything in the game. Look, I don't know. I mean, I couldn't help. There was a moment when Martinelli came on. He gets the ball. I feel bad, but that's the point.
He was there.
He was there. He gets the ball. He's 1-on-1 with the fullback, and all game, he's sat on the bench watching Madueke, ball at his feet, one touch, bang, and he's just trying to take him on. Did they all come off? No, but a lot of them did, and he got some good crosses in. Martinelli gets the ball at his feet, turns back.
Yep.
And it just, yeah. It's hard to see. It's sad to see.
Yeah. No, it does seem churlish to criticise them. But
sorry.
For me, no. I think Ødegaard really was the miss. It's just really frustrating, that he probably wasn't 100% fit because it's one of those injuries that it's not load bearing. You can kind of play through it with a few painkillers and whatever. And I think it needs rest that is longer than we can give him.
Well, why did he go away with Norway?
Because he said, look, I'm good enough. I'm 70%, it still hurts, but they've jacked him up.
That's not his decision.
Well, in the same way that when they asked Saliba, do you want to carry on against Liverpool? And he said, yeah, of course he does.
Again, not his decision.
He's going to lie. Well, if he lies, who's to say? And they give him a quick examination. He goes, no, I'm fine.
That's it. For all intents and purposes, Ødegaard was fit to go away with Norway and played very well for Norway during that time as well. Right. And I think it's one of those things, like with a shoulder injury, which I'm kind of suffering from at the moment, any little thing can aggravate it. And when Ødegaard went down, there was a bit of a melee. It had got a bit scrambled with a couple of players flying in. And it is just unlucky. Yeah, you can't really legislate for it, which is such a shame. It's not a player disappointment, but it's related to a player. Can I just express how disappointed I am with the Madueke chanting? Oh, Nonny Madueke. So boring.
Okay, Steph, what should we be singing?
We should be singing the one that was created by Tabs at the Grove Podcast, which is to the tune of the Human League, Don't You Want Me? Nonny Madueke, Madueke, oh. Much better. Yeah. Thank you very much.
I would like to see that and second it, or whatever the poker thing is. When you say, I'll raise you, thank you very much.
Okay.
Into a sort of madrigal, like a medieval madrigal because Hey Nonny Nonny, is like a thing, isn't it, in madrigals? So like a Hey Nonny Nonny Madueke. I haven't worked on the melody yet. But maybe I'll do it for the next pod.
Yeah. To music.
Yeah. Like it will be a harpsichord. Someone will have to bring a harpsichord into the Emirates.
You've made me feel better about my suggestion, though, Chris. Thanks a lot.
Right, I've got nothing. I mean, if I'm being churlish, I thought I would have liked Gyökeres on the end of one of Madueke's crosses. That's like in the first half in particular.
Right, can we talk about the spell of doom that you had after Gyökeres was taken off?
Right,
and you were saying, these are the wrong changes.
Right. Okay, so it was 68 minutes and Gyökeres was hooked for Declan Rice and Marino was pushed up top. For me, that was a conservative move, right? Now, ultimately, it didn't matter, but there were two instances. I mean, don't forget that, he wouldn't have done this perhaps, but they hit the crossbar, thanks to Raya. They hit the crossbar to bring it back to 2-1. You got a different game at 2-1 than 2-0. And no outlet. We've got no striker. So all of a sudden, it did become very notable that there was nobody. We still had Madueke and Eze on either flank, but all of a sudden there was no presence in the centre. And there were a couple of instances where that would have been useful. Obviously, there was the Declan Rice just failing to get onto the end of the timber cross shot thing.
Shot, yeah.
Yeah, and I turned to you and I said, Gyökeres would have got on the end of that.
Gyökeres would have scored that.
There you go.
It was just so funny how you went in. You did catastrophise just slightly, going, I'm not sure about this.
Yeah, but if it had gone another way.
Well, yeah.
Like as I said to everybody around me, I was getting pelters for this, by the way. I said, well, listen, I'll be the one laughing when we go 3-2 down.
arms folded, smug.
Yeah. Also, I just punched the microphone there. Yeah. But it's because it's become it's almost like a degree subject. And my dissertation is the question, the thesis. My PhD thesis is Arteta a conservative? So I'm second guessing and questioning everything and looking into it, the psychology behind every move. He got away with it today.
Clipping that up.
That's fine.
Got away with it.
I stand by every word I've ever uttered.
But yeah,
before we look ahead at Bilbao on Tuesday, is there anything else you guys want to say about today's game, Forest? It was nice to see Postecoglou back and reintroduce some of the old Postecoglou chanting. It was lovely.
Oh, the getting sacked in the morning just really made me laugh. And then, are you Tottenham in disguise? Yeah. Very good. I did enjoy that. I mean, why has he gone there? What? Have you heard?
They got him?
Holly, have you seen his post-match comments?
No.
So basically he said, yeah, well, I didn't want to change too much coming into this game, mate, because, the players had done very well before to get themselves in this position. But, after that showing, there will be changes ringing. And he said, and it won't take months. It won't take weeks. It'll be done by Wednesday. Wow.
Who have they got in the league? I bet they play Liverpool soon.
No, they'll have a Europa League game.
No, I know, but in the league, I bet they'll play Liverpool soon. So they'll get the high. Liverpool will get the benefit of the high line.
Well, who knows?
Are we done on Forest?
Yeah.
Okay, so and I didn't know this, Steph, but I thought the Champions League was returning on Tuesday at 8:00, but apparently it's not, or 7:45. Apparently it's not. It's returning on Tuesday at
5:45 p.m. UK time.
So I will be tutoring throughout the entire match.
I will not.
And we're going to Athletic Bilbao. So a little bit about those guys. We met them in the Emirates Cup. We beat them 3-0. It was their first week of pre-season. It's pre-season, so I wouldn't read too much into that. But they won their first 3 La Liga games and were joint top going into today's game, where they were at home to Alaves. I think it's at home to Alaves, and they've lost that game 1-0. And I looked at the starting 11 for that game today. I looked at their starting 11 for the most recent win, so before the international break. And I think it only differed by 1 or 2 players from the team that played against us in the Emirates Cup. So they've got the 2 Williams brothers, obviously. Inaki's one. What's the guy Nico Williams, who was on our radar for the last couple of years and Barcelona's radar. Probably he will end up there, one would imagine, when Barcelona find a few more pennies down the back of the sofa. But the rest of the team, I don't know who they are. I can't name their players now for you. I looked at them. I was literally doing a spot the difference, almost team selection side by side to just cross reference, and it was a pretty much the same team. Now, someone did say Bilbao's return to the Champions League for the first time in a long time, probably. Atmosphere is going to be pretty electric there. I don't know. How are you feeling? Steph, how are you feeling about this game in particular?
Well, buoyant. I looking ahead to these fixtures after the international break, you go from Bilbao to Man City at home, Port Vale in the cup, League Cup, which is a bit different, Newcastle. If you're not excited about these games and big opposition coming along, that's great. Yeah, they will be up for it, absolutely right. Obviously, famously, they pick Basque players to play for them, so they kind of inhibit themselves in that sense because they only recruit from that area. But
someone pointed that out to me today, and I realised that, and I said it's a bit like the PGMOL just picking referees from the Northwest.
Very good. Yeah. I like that. So yeah, they'll be up for it, but I would like to think that we can go there and hold ourselves accountable and do well.
Steph, help me out here. In our Champions League fixtures, where does this rank in kind of difficulty? Is it one of the 2 or 3 more difficult games,
I can't remember
or is
what
it
pot they're in? They must be.
No, but with the actual teams themselves, who else have we got? Oh my God, I can't. I should have the Champions League fixture list.
Well, I mean, the easier ones are a team that I can't remember the name of. I think they may be
like Azerbaijanian or something.
Yes,
us.
one of those far
Far
Eastern Europe ones. We've got Slavia Prague. We've got Bruges. We've got Inter Milan and was it PSG again? Wasn't PSG, was it?
No,
Inter and...
Right, hang on. I've got it in front of me. So we're away to Athletic Bilbao.
Madrid, Atletico Madrid.
It is. And is that away? Because that's our only Champions League game this month is this one. Where 1st of October, we're home to Olympiacos. Then we are home to Atletico. So that's Atletico Madrid. That's the 21st of August. Of October, sorry, August.
I might have to go to that. Even though it's
Slavia Prague is away. God, it's another 5:45 kickoff on a Tuesday. Slavia Prague away. Then we are. Oh, there's the big one. So on the 22nd of November, we are home to Spurs. Well, it might not be. That still hasn't been moved for football or for TV. And on the Wednesday, we are home to Bayern Munich. And on the 29th, we're away to Chelsea. That's a good week. Holy crap.
Isn't it?
So home to Bayern Munich. At the moment, this is our most difficult away game at the moment, because that takes us into the new year. And January, who have we got? We're away to Inter Milan on the 20th of January.
Where we only lost there last year because of a very European handball penalty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they went on to the final.
And then it's Karat.
Go on.
K-A-I-R-A-T. Karat.
They're the team that put Celtic out. I know that. Make of that what you will.
Yeah, that was met with the silence. I didn't know.
But you've got to remember, like, we're only in pot 2 because of various what do they call it, the point system with UEFA, the coefficient, because we were out of the Champions League for so long. The Athletic Club will be not happy about facing us.
No.
Semi-finalists last year.
So our 2 tricky away games are Athletic. It's both to Spain, Bilbao and Atletico Madrid, and then we're home to Bayern Munich.
Too much history.
No, sorry. We're home to Atletico Madrid. So we've got Atletico Madrid and Bayern Munich at home, and we've got Bilbao and Inter Milan away.
Bruges.
There are four tricky games.
Bruges is away too.
In Bruges,
like the film.
Good film.
Great film. Anyway,
love it. What's our start, Chris? You looking forward to it?
Yeah, I mean, on the back of this, you've got to be, haven't you? We're taking a healthy squad over there. I'm very confident that we'll do the job.
On that, then, Chris, who's going to start?
Yeah, I was sort of tossing up whether or not he was going to start with an 11 that looks similar to what he'll start against City.
Just for the record, then we play City at 4:30 on Sunday. I'm assuming they're playing in the Champions League this week as well.
They are. Who they're playing, I don't know. Looks thing up on the internet.
Or what day? Are they playing on Wednesday?
Again,
go on, Chris, while Steph's looking it up.
Well, I'm going to just give you my team, and it's... I've decided to go with one that is a sort of rotation on today's team, and just for sort of shits and giggles, really. So I'm going to go Raya in goal, White at right back, Mosquera, Gab and MLS starts. And then in midfield, it's Zubi and Rice. I'm still wedded to this 4-2-3-1 thing in my head. And then we've got Marino instead of Odegaard with Madueke, Gyökeres and Martinelli.
So you think that he'll do what he did at Anfield? He won't start with Nwaneri. He'll start with Marino instead.
Yeah.
Is that what you would do?
No, I'd like to see Nwaneri start.
And I assume you'd prefer to see Eze over Martinelli as well.
I would, but I can understand why. An on-form Martinelli kind of makes sense from a defensive point of view, but you can't just lean into his defensive qualities if he's not producing with the ball. So on form, I would go with Eze.
should we be that concerned about the defensive prowess of our front three for this game?
Well, it's part of it, isn't it? When you're defending as a team.
Well, Eze's not incapable.
No, not at all.
So that's what I mean. Should we be that concerned about it that we would play a player who has offered nothing in an attacking sense for quite a long time, but is good defensively? Whereas we could sacrifice a little bit of the defensive onus with Eze, but he'll offer us infinitely more going forward in this game.
Yeah. No, this is what I think Arteta will do, but I would be Eze all the way.
Steph?
Just before I tell you my team, I'd just like to let you know that on Thursday, Man City are at home to Napoli.
Ooh,
that's
Thursday.
Interesting, isn't it? Thursday. Yeah, every now and again the Champions League have a Thursday because the Europa League is a shorter form competition. So the Champions League has this round where they can have the Thursday for TV rights as well. So there's actually quite a few games. I mean, for example, the standout tie for me that day is Newcastle hosting Barcelona. But I will be watching Man City.
But Man City home to Napoli, and we've got an extra 2 days rest. I know we're away in Spain, but
also
Spain's not far.
Napoli, they're the champions, and they're quite good.
Yeah, City won't be resting any players, and City struggle to get into.
They won't be allowed
to.
They lost,
and
in the
they're
playoff
suffering a bit of an injury crisis as well at the moment. I know that Cherki and Marmoush and Aït-Nouri are all out for this weekend's fixtures. But okay, go on then. What's your team?
Raya in goal. I'm going for a back four of White, Mosquera, Gabriel, Miles Lewis-Skelly. Midfield three of Marino, Zubamendi, Rice, and then a front three, Madueke, Gyökeres, Eze. However, so just going back to Jason Britton, again, who messaged on Instagram, he asked the question a while ago about he wonders if Rice and Marino can play in the same midfield, that perhaps they're a bit too similar in profile, and therefore someone like a Waneri or even moving an Eze central could add that little bit. He actually phrased it of saying, is Rice and Marino our Lampard and Gerrard? I'm not sure. However, I think that's what Arteta will do. I think he'll want that security of the dual winners in midfield. But Marino, as we know, loves to get forward, and his finishing is excellent. So we'll see.
Can Zubamendi play every game? Is there It's like he's played every game so far. I don't know if he played both games for Spain in the international break. I've no idea, but I didn't look.
I don't know what his minutes were for it. No,
how many minutes he played. But we've got City on Sunday. I think with the 5-day rest might help that. He's not going to play against Port Vale in the following midweek, so it'll be Newcastle. So he'll have a week off then. So
it's also key at what point they come off versus Bilbao.
Sure.
That's what I was saying earlier about whether you start with a team that you can rotate players into ahead of, like Saliba. If you want to play him against City, give him 20 minutes at the end of the Bilbao game, or you start him and bring him off early.
Yeah, with our midfield. So Rice didn't start today because he'd had quite a intense duty with England over the international break. So you start Rice and Zubamendi, but maybe Zubamendi's the guy to come off, and then Rice sits in that slightly deeper position, and holds the fort. But that's assuming that the game state will allow us to do that. So fingers crossed.
Has Ben White played any football this season?
He did feature in one of the games, didn't he? Didn't he feature at United?
Yeah, the first game, I think.
Yeah.
And then had a bit of a niggle.
I've got him down. I just don't know.
I've only done that
starter?
for pure rotation because there's such a little drop-off with the fullbacks, and I just think Timber, as you said earlier, Chris, I don't know if we were recording then, but Timber always seems to finish the game looking like he's been through some kind of ordeal, so maybe just bring him out for this. White's great, so if he's fit enough, give him a go.
So I've got Raya. I have White, Mosquera, Gabriel, and I wondered, would he start with Hincapia? We've paid a lot of money for him.
Yeah.
again, it's just like
bring him off the bench.
First game in the Champions League away from home, especially if you've got Tim White starting, maybe not fully match fit on one side. You'd be thinking, well, I'm going to have to take him off after 70 minutes anyway. I'd have to do the same for. Well, maybe he's done that before, hasn't he? Swapped the two fullbacks out in the same move. So, but again, options. Rice, Mendy, Marino, Madueke, Gyökeres, and Eze. Front three. I think it's building these relationships. More minutes on the pitch, the better you get, and then take them off after 70 minutes if game state allows it. Well, actually, to be fair, irrespective of game state, you still take them off because we've got that many options on the bench that we can tweak accordingly, whether it's needing another goal or shutting up shop or whatever it is.
So just to be clear, you two think that's what Mikel will choose, and that's what you would choose too?
I think midfield-wise, I probably would go Marino over Nwaneri, but I think defence-wise, I'd probably go Calafiori. I'd say to him, start off a little bit more cautiously, but if it then feels right and we can dominate a bit, do your wandering act.
Did he play the 2 games for Italy as well?
He didn't. He was rested the second one.
Okay. Yeah, so I've got, in left back, I've written 3 names down. It's like
Zinchenko, Tierney, Kivior. Wow.
There you go. Yeah.
12 months, eh?
Not even. I said that to you today, didn't I, Steph?
You did.
I said at the back end of last season, if I told you that we were setting up, so let's say the second last game last season, if I said to you, do you know what? Our second home game next season, we're going to have Eze and Madueke on the 2 flanks and Gyökeres through the middle. Like, what?
And that Saka and Saliba be injured and we wouldn't be sweating it too much.
We'd be like,
exactly.
No meltdown in the Arsenal fan base.
Crazy.
Erdegaard getting injury, that's disappointing, and it's a worry that it's a recurring injury perhaps. But Nwaneri coming on, or Eze, someone pointed out that another option would have been to bring Martinelli on and put Eze into Erdegaard's position, more central. But he I'm glad he didn't. I'm glad he went for the Ethan option. Yeah, and if Saliba's fit, I don't think he should play. A
few minutes later on, if you have to.
If it's necessary. Mosquera, 70 odd games in La Liga. This is not a fixture that's going to daunt him at all. In fact, it's probably more within his comfort zone than any other game he's played this season. Steph, I said to someone else today, about the two of you actually, that I don't know what it is, but the world, maybe, and me thinking that this journey feels a little bit different, but my world is not sitting right at the moment because of two things that I could count on and rely on without a second's thought. Number one, Steph being Eeyore when it comes to score predictions, and number two, you being late, Chris.
Me being on time, you mean?
No, late. You were never on. You were never on time. You were always late. You've been early.
Yeah,
Chris. You've been early. You've not been on time. You've been early.
You're living in a parallel universe.
I don't know what's happening. So on that, Steph, what's the score going to be on Tuesday?
2-1 Arsenal.
Chris.
I don't know if you can see that.
Oh, is this like countdown where you're checking 2-1 Arsenal?
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that because I've written 2-1 Arsenal.
When they have the same word, they have to have it verified, don't they, on countdown?
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. With like a pen with a light on it. Yeah. 2-1.
Yep, same 2-1.
Whoa, there you go.
A full house of 2-1s.
Nice.
Feels
you right,
very
Holly?
2-1-y.
You right with that, Holly?
Well, I'm all right with Chris predicting 2-1.
Well, this is the thing now. I'm also a bit worried. It's like, we're probably doing this wrong. Like Arsenal podcasts and YouTube channels and TikToks, we're supposed to argue about stuff, but it's all very nice.
Well, just pick a... Listen,
just 1-3-0, mate.
You just go for a 1-1 draw.
No,
we'll be
it's
back
not what I'm feeling. It's not what I'm feeling. Let's argue about what new manager bounce actually means, and like the opposite of bounce. And
well, what was that for Forest? Their last game with their previous manager was a 3-0 defeat, and their first game with their new manager is a 3-0 defeat.
New manager stasis.
Yeah.
Static.
But I'm sorry, but the last 3-0 was a home defeat to West Ham, and
yeah, there's
that
3-0
might be
defeats.
the only game West Ham win this season.
And there's 3-0 defeats.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Anything else to add? Say, observe? Nothing. No. Chris, myself, and yourself will have a little chat on Monday morning about the other big Premier League games of the weekend in the weekend wrap.
Indeed.
So look out for that at some point. For the rest of yous, enjoy Match of the Day this evening. Actually, I shouldn't have said that. I hope you enjoyed Match of the Day last night, or whenever you watch the replay, or just a rerun of the entire game.
Such
which is
a pro.
what I'm going to do now.
And follow us at North Bank Pod, wherever you get your
that.
pod, and on the socials everywhere, YouTube mainly. But
I want YouTube up to 500 by Christmas. Nice Christmas present. And Spotify up to 1,000. That'd be nice. Right, anyway, thanks for listening, thanks for watching. Enjoy the next few days, and we'll come back again as a trio, a threesome for a post-Bilbao, pre-Man City podcast at some point later on in the week. Enjoy the rest of your weekends. Bye.
Bye.
Nani Madueke. Madueke. Ooh.
Oh.
The North Bank, an Arsenal podcast. Subscribe, rate and review on your app, and find us on your socials at North Bank Pod. Email hello@thenorthbankafc.com and check out our website, thenorthbankafc.com. Produced by the Podcast Company.